That's the thing. It's a game, and anybody can play it any way they want. So even with our cast on All Star 6, we didn't. Oh, hi there, puppy.
We have a dog, a little dog guest now. Yes.
I'm sorry, I get distracted by puppies.
Me too. I'm glad you said it. I was going to say it.
So cute.
Hello, and welcome to a very special video edition of EW's Binge podcast on RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars. I am Joey Nolfi, EW's Drag Race reporter, and today I am broadcasting live from RuPaul's favorite spot, a local Mexicatessen, and I am joined by a group of queens who are collectively more powerful than the British royal family. They are here for a very special RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star 6 Top 4 reunion, and like Silky did with cookies and a bottle of Crown Royal, I actually snuck all of these queens here inside my bra. Please welcome Eureka, Ginger Minge, Raja O'Hara, and our All-Star 6 champion, Miss Kylie Sonique Love. Thank you all so much for joining me today.
Kylie's working the runway. She's working the runway.
Also, Joey, I was going to say that's a big-ass bra.
Only the biggest for all of you. Yes, the biggest and the best. But look at Kylie working that plain runway. She is working the runway and this interview.
You very well.
Well, I have to ask all of you, how are you all doing now that there is some distance from the finale? How are you all feeling?
Good. I feel great. I felt great going into the finale. It was the first time, in my 3 seasons of Drag Race, where once we got to the top 4, we all just kind of looked at each other and went, well, whatever happens, happens. I'm just really happy to be with these girls.
I'm doing great. I'm happy. I'm blessed. I have amazing sisters that I made during this experience. I love it when we, stay the camaraderie and the sisterhood even after competition. So It's amazing over here.
I mean, we're going to get to the bottom of all the best moments from this season, I promise. But first, we do have a surprise guest. We couldn't do an All-Star 6 chat without a lip-sync assassin. We do have a 5th queen joining us, who you all have to lip-sync against to keep your spot on this podcast. So everybody, please welcome. Wait, could it be Madame LaQueer? No,
I wish.
No, I'm 100% kidding. I'm kidding. I'm so sorry.
You said lip sync assassin. That don't sound right.
I was just referencing Eureka's iconic moment of wondering if one of the lip sync assassins was Madame LaQueer, but unfortunately, we do not have Madame LaQueer here.
Justice for Madame LaQueer.
Yes, absolutely, always.
Okay.
But we do have important matters to get to, though. The first and most important question on everyone's mind regarding All-Star 6, Eureka, can you please settle once and for all the mystery of where your missing finger was in the promo shoot?
Oh my God. Well, I found it in Raja's suitcase next to my wigs, girl.
Okay.
I'm kidding. That's an old joke. It's tired. It's as tired as my lost finger. That joke is as tired as my lost finger. Girl, I don't know. The editor said it was hiding behind my wig, but I just never found it in that wig, girl. I looked and looked. Yeah.
I think got it back. You got it back. That's all I need to know. I think I have looked at that image so many times, and I think it truly is just like bent behind your other finger. Like it's there. You can see it curving. It's just bent behind your other finger.
I hope so.
Okay.
This is it, round 2. I see talent.
I have been dreaming about the second chance, so get the ready.
It's a showstopper. You look incredible.
Back to claim my crown.
Oh, I want to go to you, Kylie, our winner. I mean, it was so amazing seeing you back after all this time. You spoke a lot this season about the time difference between season 2 and All-Star 6, which was 11 years, which is just wild to think about. And you seemed genuinely amazed at how long it was. You brought it up a few times. So I'm wondering, is it because did the Kylie from 11 years ago leaving season 2, could she have imagined the life that you're living right now with the crown? Was that something that was within the realm of possibility for you?
Sure, if I had the opportunity, or if I would have known, sooner in my life that I could free myself and be myself. Things could have been different, but I'm really glad and grateful that they happened the way that they did, because I learned a lot along the way, and it helped me not only be a better person, but even a better competitor, So, I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
But you're the queen. You can finagle around any question that you want to.
Sure.
And can you also can you stop and grab me a vitamin water at that stand you just had?
Oh God. Well, Raja, let's go to you. I want to, you very much impressed everyone right off the bat with the talent show. I mean, you sewed that dress in 60 seconds. And I read that with relation to your fashions that you spent $600 on your entire wardrobe. So is that true? And was that a number that you sort of set for yourself at the beginning, or did it just happen that ended up as the budget?
No, well, that's where my budget started and stopped. Actually, that was like the extent I could do, because that's all my bank account said, and I was not going to overdraft anything for RuPaul's Drag Race. I wasn't going to go into debt for this particular show, because I did know that there was a possibility that I could have went on first. So I wasn't going to spend all my last. You know what I mean? I'm a smart queen. I'm very frugal. I'm very crafty. So anything that I need, I know that I was capable of being able to make myself. And yes, I did only spend $600. Of course, like my hair and stuff was all just like little pieces, like shake and go pieces that I found at the beauty supply. So there's nothing wrong with, buying a shake and go piece, especially if you're able to sell it. It's not about how much you spend, it's about what you're able to accomplish and how you're able to sell it. And I think with me making all of my garments myself, it kind of showed in the way that I sold my garments, because I was selling them authentically from the inside out. I was wearing the garment was not wearing me. Okay.
Exactly. Wow. It was a wonderful showcase for you. I think you did so well on the runway and beyond. So I just have to say again, hats off to you. It was a really incredible showcase for you. So let's
Well, I just want to say, I really want Raja to do a one-woman show called Gown in 60 seconds.
That's weird.
And you can just recreate all of your looks in segments set to music. I'll produce it.
Yeah. Or I was going to say, just charge $600 for one ticket, and the show's only 60 seconds long, and you sew a dress. People would pay $600 just for that alone.
Yeah.
There you go, Raja. Your next tour.
I like the way you think. I like the way y'all are thinking.
I like the way I like it.
Give me an hour.
Ginger would be such a good producer, though. She would be such a good producer. You would, Ginger. I would let her produce a show for me.
Well, come on, let's do it.
Yes.
Honey, she's the cult leader. Okay. She's future president.
This is where it all started, right here with
Stage
Ginger.
mother extraordinaire. Yeah.
Well, Ginger, I do want to talk to you about episode 2, because that was an episode that had a lot of people talking. I mean, a lot of people were surprised when you voted for Jiggly to leave. I know how good of friends you guys are. And in my exit interview with her, Jiggly was joking, and she said that you now owe her a trip to Disney because you voted for her. So I'm wondering, did that trip happen, or is it scheduled to happen in the future?
Well, that trip has happened many times in the past. I take her every year. We go to the big Disney Halloween bash. But yeah, I promised her, I was like, as soon as we're able to, I will bring you back to Orlando, and I'll take you back to Disney and let you get candy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Hey, but Ginger told all of us that. She told us all we was going to.
I know. I tell you, and we have a group message, and I tell everybody all the time, come down to Orlando. I have an extra room. I'll take you to Disney and Gatorland.
Ginger, you are promising things to everybody. Do you owe everybody on this podcast a trip to Disney? You owe me a trip to Disney now.
I don't owe nobody shit, but I would love to invite all of my friends, including you, Joey. We'll all go.
Atta girl.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Oh, I always feel like family when I'm talking to you guys. Thank you. Now, when I do, that decision, it did seem like it was a tough decision for you, because I know the relationship between you is very close, and it's been, you've forged this relationship over many years. So what were your initial conversations like with Jiggly after filming had ended about that moment?
They were back to what they always were. I mean, she completely understood where I was coming from. I had full faith in her as my friend and as like an honest competitor who really wanted to be her best. I knew that she would have done the same exact thing to me if I deserved it. So I didn't feel... I felt sad that I had to do it, but I didn't feel bad about doing it because it was the right decision to make. And I tried to do that. You know, I know that every decision every single one of us makes upsets somebody in the fan base, it upsets one of the girls or some of the girls. But I think this group, more than any, we tried to play it really, really honestly. And we tried to look at every little thing that went into it so that we weren't crushing somebody's dream for no reason.
Right. Well, I mean, the strategy of voting this season, it did seem to align pretty quickly that you all did vote on track record for the most part. So I'm just wondering, Ginger, how did the way that this group settled on a voting strategy compare to the way it happened back on All Stars 2? Was it a similar sort of coalescing around that, or were there differences between how the group decided both times?
Well, I wasn't there very long for All Stars 2, but from the time that I was in the room, you know, it was the first time that had happened. It was the first time that was a twist. So we were kind of figuring it out on the fly as we went along. We didn't have years to think about how we would handle this. We just had minutes. So I think most of us, for the most part, we were trying to vote fairly, kind of based on the judges' critiques. But that's the thing; it's a game, and anybody can play it any way they want. So even with our cast on All Stars 6, you know, we didn't. Oh, hi there, puppy.
We have a dog, a little dog guest now. Yes.
I'm sorry, I get distracted by puppies.
Me too. I'm glad you said it. I was going to say it.
So cute. Whose dog is that?
I know that's not Gizmo.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you just steal a dog from someone?
No, this is my dog Gizmo's baby Gus. So I got a new family.
Wait, is this
what you do to my nephew?
Is this an on-camera debut?
Yes,
it's so cute. Oh, I feel very honored for this.
So cute.
Lovely little surprise.
Yes.
So let's see.
But anyway,
go ahead.
No, just to wrap that up. I mean, we never knew from day to day how anybody else was going to choose to play the game, because it is a game, and it's, you know, it's your privilege and your whim, whatever you want to do with it. But it was really nice to see that everybody tried to be as fair as possible.
Well, Silky
did, except for Yara.
Oh.
No, I'm joking.
Yara.
She was taking out the strongest competitor. Okay.
Because she did say that. She did say that right at the very beginning. I was wondering if that was actually going to be one of my questions, is when because she said it in her confessional. And I'm wondering if she had said that out loud to anybody on set during filming, and if that maybe put a target on her back, because she did go relatively early.
I don't remember her saying that in the room.
I mean, I remember her saying a lot of crazy shit.
Okay.
But that's the thing. We never knew what she was saying because she was screaming in between, like, ah! Like, it was just crazy.
Okay.
Raja, what were you going to say?
No, she didn't talk her strategy with us, but then once we had got that vote, and it was like her and Trinity battling on who would go pick who to go home. It was like, we see what's going on. Especially watching it back, it's like, now we see what the true intentions was. You can say it wasn't, but it was. Okay.
I think we could all see that. It was a little apparent. But I think it was interesting, too, when I interviewed Silky for her exit interview, she spoke up about being afraid to go up against the consensus, because she felt like if you voted against the consensus, that might have put a target on certain people's backs. So to all of you, did you feel that way as well? Was there something that you all felt where you couldn't go against the consensus? And I'm not saying that was like a rule, but I'm saying just like among the group, was there an understanding that you couldn't go against the consensus, or that would make you vulnerable to a vote?
I think
what we had originally signed up to say was like, use your integrity to vote how you would like. Your integrity didn't have to line up with the decisions that the group had made. But what that meant for us is like being able to vote how you wanted to, and then like win, lose, or draw, if your person is still here that you voted for, still be able to stand up for your vote and say, girl, I voted for you because such and such and such and such.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the expectation.
I don't think it was like any pressure to be like.
Yeah, I think the expectation that we put out there was just like, whatever you choose, be brave enough to admit it and say why. And if you have a legitimate reason, we can't be mad. But if you're doing it just to be shady, then obviously people would see you being shady, and that might put a target on your back, just because this game is about trust. It is about not necessarily alliances, but you want to be in a room full of people that you can trust and work with, and that will, have your back if you do well enough that you shouldn't be sent home when it's not your time. So there was like a trust in the room, I think, for the most part, where we all did kind of trust each other to make the right decision. So it kind of got to a point where we were all making the same decision because we would discuss it and we would listen to each other's opinion,
Yeah, I think that that's really clear, and it does come through for the most part when the votes happen, that it's, it is a group of people who know each other very well, but are also playing a game. And it's like, you have to make difficult decisions. And I think that a lot of people get unnecessary flack for making those, difficult decisions that you have to make. So it's understandable. And I wish more people were more understanding of the choices that were made. And it was sort of heartbreaking to me, though, that Silky did feel like she had to sort of tone down her personality to not get hate from the fans, and that she and Akira felt that they sort of had to vote for each other to avoid the fans' wrath, as they were saying in Untucked. So Raja, can you speak to your experience with Silky after season 11? Because I know you became very close, and with Akira too, that might have led to Silky feeling that way. And if you were present for that chat that they had in Untucked together off to the side, what might you have said to them to maybe lift their spirits?
You know what? I was actually pissed off at my sisters. I'm not going to even lie to you. I was like really pissed off that they came back into that room and had declared that the two of them were the official bottoms of that week. Because it was like, no, girl, there are 4 people up for elimination. We, and of course, if it's 2 people against 2 other people, we can sway that vote. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that, like, to me was very much, it was frustrating. But, but I also understand exactly where they were coming from, because they did get the worst critique of the week. So for me, I felt like that just really speaks to Silky and Akira's character and their integrity as well, to just to say, you know what, today just really wasn't my week. So if you got to pick somebody, pick me. And we are sisters. We're strong enough to actually have those moments and to be able to, vote for each other and not take it personal. We all knew that we were coming into this game as sisters, and we knew that we were going to leave as sisters, and we weren't going to let this game divide us, because this game is the one that actually brought us together back in season 11. So knowing all of the hate and all of the pressure that Silky was probably feeling and putting on herself to come back into that room, because me and Silky were portrayed as the villains of our season. So coming back, we both wanted to be ourselves and to like have fun. But sometimes pulling up to that set and walking back into those 4 walls is very triggering. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know I had my moment when I pulled up on set, but then I had to talk myself back off the ledge. Like, girl, we got this. That was then. This is now. Let's move on, girl. Say your prayer, cross everything up, and let's wish for the best.
Well, there was, a difference, I think, in that at least I could sense from my perspective. Of course, I'm not on the inside, but I think in watching how the fans reacted to both you and Silky this time, especially after the lip sync redemption episode, there was, I think, a difference. And it was definitely a more positive reaction, I think, from what I was observing. So what was it like just for you to watch somebody that you have grown so close to, like Silky, sort of get that, in some ways, redeeming narrative after that lip sync episode? Because I saw so many people showing a lot of support for her. So what did that feel like for you to see your sister get that kind of support after what she went through on season 11?
It's so crazy, because when we were there in the room, literally in real time, I was so proud of Silky for that particular. I'm almost about to start tearing up just thinking about it, because I was so proud of her, because she had literally did what she needed to do.
Yeah.
And that's all that she really wanted to do, was redeem herself, and she wanted to come back and have a really good time. And I think once she actually got eliminated and had to come back and had to come and fight, it actually showed who she was as a person, as an entertainer, and it showed her heart and her determination and her love for the craft and what we do as entertainers, which is entertainment first. So I was so proud of her. I'm still so proud of her. And it just like really warms my heart to know that she was able to redeem herself. And I feel like everybody on our cast was actually able to redeem themselves in some way from their original season. So shout out to the story producers for letting us all have our moment to shine and showing us in a well-rounded, perspective, as opposed to, oh, this is your villain. We don't like her. We're shading her. This is who we love. You know what I mean? That we've already seen in previous seasons.
You all did an incredible job this season. I mean, I think particular praise goes to Eureka as well. I mean, I think it was so lovely watching you this season, and the way that you also sort of were unafraid to confront, I think, the perception that a lot of people had of you with the character challenge, when you sort of took a villain and embraced that and made something interesting and beautiful out of it. So I think you all did remarkable on this season. It really was the season of redemptions across the board. But I think also shortly after this, I want to go back to Jara very quickly, because episode 4, I mean, Jara's exit, it was quite an exit when she left and screamed, bleep you all. So what was the energy like in the room when that happened? Were you all genuinely shocked by it, or was it clear that it was a joke?
It was not a joke.
It was not a joke.
It was not clear that it was a joke. It's not a joke.
Exactly. Not a joke, just a fact. She meant it, and she looked each one of us dead in our eyes. It said it. You're cool. You.
Wait, who was cool? Who was the cool one?
Nobody. It's
Nobody.
It's a reference.
Oh God. Okay. Well, I genuinely thought it was a joke, but if it's not, I don't want to prod if it was not a joke.
I mean, it might have been a joke. She tried to play it off as a joke, but it felt very serious in the moment.
Well,
But I don't think anybody.
Writing.
Yeah.
She put it in writing when she left as well. So I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
That
in
was
case
on the
y'all
mirror
hear it
too.
on stage, she said, "You know what? You're gonna have to read it too."
I forgot about that.
Honestly, that's the merch. That's the merch I want Jara to make. Kind of get me a shirt with Jara on it, with it just says "F you all." I would wear it.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's go to, on a lighter note, I think, after the lip sync on episode 5, Ginger, I have to ask, can we assume that you and Mayhem both eventually found your phones? Where did you find the phones?
Mine was broken. I had to go get a new one.
No,
that was the most fun I think I've ever had lip syncing on Drag Race.
So good.
I've been such a huge fan of Mayhem for years, way before she was on Drag Race. I remember like just going over to Mickey's and watching her and being so enthralled. And then I loved her on the show. And then to just like be able to lip sync against somebody who is very different, but still kind of vibes with you in the same way. Yeah. It was fun. It just felt like we were at the club having a good time. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why people really just kind of like embraced that lip sync so quickly. It was just it was fun, and people had a good time watching it.
Yes, it was a whole performance. You were vibing off each other. It was a whole theater show in itself. Truly, it was so good. Now I have to ask, did she get the cut of the winnings that she requested?
Oh, I'm sorry, the connection's bad. I'm gonna have to log off.
Okay.
I had to ask because she asked. I had to ask. So, Kylie, I want to ask you about, after this, we got to the American Horror Story episode. So fabulous, your performance in this. But it took a few beats, I think, to get there. So what was there like an apprehension that you approached that challenge with, and what got you to that point where you just let it all go and you gave us such an incredible performance? What got you to that point? Kylie, are you on the subway?
Well, that's what's getting her to that point.
Yeah, she's taking the subway. Kylie, we can't hear you.
I'm traveling fish.
Next stop, Concourse B. Okay.
Okay. Wait, Kylie, we can't hear you. Well, maybe I'll come back to you when you're off the subway and we'll ask that question again.
What is the question?
Oh, okay. So the question was for American Horror Story. Because we'll come back to Kylie. When Kylie's back, we'll ask her that question again.
Not today, say that, not today.
Well, I was going to use that to segue into the next question to Eureka, because you can't talk about American Horror Story now without talking about Eureka's Scream Queen role, which I was so thrilled when I saw that. I literally screamed when I saw you post about that.
So good.
You went from doing so well in the American Horror Story Challenge to, actual American Horror Story. So how did that come together? And I have to know, did you help put Evan Peters in drag or give him advice?
I did not put him in drag. He showed up like that, but I did give him some advice, more like loving advice, because that's my baby. I call her my drag daughter now. We had a good time. It was just amazing. I auditioned for it, and my manager came to me with it, and I wasn't sure if I was going to get the part, but I got a call back on it, honey, and I just randomly got the gig. It was really just a lucky thing. I had been auditioning for a lot of stuff, and it just, one of them sticks sometimes, girl. So, honey, Crystal Decanter got her debut. The funnest part literally was getting killed on stage, though, honey. I died in the American Horror Story. I died in American Horror Story. I hope I stay alive, though, honey. I'm trying to stay alive right now. Because the American Horror Story wasn't my best episode, actually. They thought I was very one-note. I was afraid I might even be up for elimination, which luckily I wasn't. So it was nice to do American Horror Story, and I felt like I got to redeem myself. Because I felt like I got to redeem myself just because I love to act. I want people to take me as an actor and take it seriously as I do. It's one of my favorite things to do in the world. So I got to feel like I, redeemed myself from the American Horror Story, to be honest. Yeah, but no, Evan Peters is amazing and so sexy, but also so sweet. And Frances, Miss Thing, she is an actress, bitch.
Oh, yes.
Frances, oh my God. Mm-hmm. It was magic getting to just be in the same room and do lines with her. It was a dream come true. I'm not going to lie.
You were doing lines with her?
Yes.
Yeah. Partier girl, yeah.
Okay. Oh, God.
Don't get crazy. She's the sweetest lady in the world. Cracking.
Well, I also thought, I could have sworn, it looks like there's a very quick shot of Chad. Was Chad Michaels there?
Yeah, Chad Michaels was there. She introduced Evan Peters' character, Patio Furniture, on stage.
Okay.
So she was actually the host of the show. I was shocked they cut her right out. I was like,
wait, yeah.
Me and her had I was planning on doing a viewing party with her and everything, which I was too busy to go to, sadly. But yeah, she was there. She was actually really supportive for me, even. She was like, girl, you're doing it. I'm so proud of you. She's like the original mama, honey, to all the girls. And she's, over in San Diego, and she takes care of all the girls. She's always watching out. But yeah, she was there. Kate
she had
Moss
a scene that was cut.
Well, she basically announced him on stage, right?
Oh, that's Evan Peters. Was cut. Okay. All right.
And they just cut the host. It was random. There's a few other queens there too in the background, like Kate Moss, and then this other queen from downtown. I can't remember her name right now. But there was a few. So we had a slew of queens there that day.
It was really lovely to see all of it. And now that we have Kylie back, Kylie has left the subway. So we will go back to talking about American Horror Story with Miss Kylie, because you did so well on that challenge. But there was the part where Michelle came on stage and gave a little demonstration. So I'm wondering if you were nervous to approach that scene, and what finally pushed you over the top to give the great performance that you ended up giving.
Well, no, to answer your question, I was absolutely not nervous. The only thing that made me nervous was when she kept stopping me and told me to start all over again, when I felt like I was given 110% of what I was supposed to be doing. It was very confusing to me. But, you never know what they're thinking. So,
who you telling?
Yeah.
Ooh.
You never know what they're thinking. I was so confused as to why are we stopping this, because I felt like I was doing a great job. It wasn't until I kept being asked to do it over again that made me feel like, am I doing something wrong? But it is what it is. It's television.
You did that performance so right though in the end. I have to tell you that is a great performance, and I think Snatch Game was also really great for you this season. Did we lose Kylie again? Oh no, okay, there she is.
Okay.
You did really great on Snatch Game. I want to know what changed. Did anything at all change in your approach to Snatch Game this season? Did you prepare differently?
Yeah, I just had to. I prepared differently. I had to think of it. I had to think of everything differently. I had to not make it seem so confusing to me. So I tried to simplify how I was going to go into it, and I looked at it more as a conversation, listen, and then speak, versus make it this big monster that I have to destroy because it destroyed me before. And I think trying to use somebody who felt closer to who I really am as a person just made it seem a lot less complicating. And Ginger is amazing, and
yes,
we have great conversations already. So it was just really easy to go back and forth with Ginger.
Did anybody who has living Snatch Game characters ever hear from the celebrities that they played? So Kylie and Raja, did you hear from either Dolly or LaToya?
I haven't heard, but her people have reached out to me, like multiple people that work at Dollywood or family members. They've reached out to me, and that's pretty cool.
Nice.
I'm still waiting for LaToya, Tito, Jermaine, or somebody to hit me up and say,
Riri.
Riri. Okay, somebody. Anybody, even Michael's Ghost. I'm waiting for Michael's Ghost to just pop up and just say.
I was going to say, yeah, Eureka and Ginger, did we have any ghostly encounters of good tidings from Snatch Game?
Yeah, I did. I get divine ghost encounters all the time. I swear to God. I'm so connected to her.
Girl, well, Phyllis
really?
Diller looked like a scary ghoul before she even died. So I'd be scared if she popped up, living or dead.
Okay.
Oh wait, can I get one thing? Can you give me the laugh, Raja? Raja, can you give me the laugh?
I love it. Make that my ringtone. It's so great. It is so great. No,
it's funny because I was the first one. I was the only one of our group that had never done Snatch Game before. So I told myself, "Girl, you got to go in there and just have fun." And my mother had gave me some notes, so of course I took my notes. Okay.
You did. You really took the notes and ran with them, and you did so well. I have to say that screen grab of your face where it's just like looking completely shocked as LaToya, I had that saved on my desktop for weeks. It was so good.
Oh, bitch. Oh, fine. Yeah, I look at that picture when I'm feeling down. I always go back to it, and
I do too.
Smile.
Yes.
I love that.
Eureka, I want to ask you, it was very touching and sweet to see how touched you were by the affection that you received from Trinity on the set. It was a really nice relationship to watch blossom between you two. But, I asked you this on your first elimination interview. I have to ask again. We're just keeping tabs. Post-show romance rumors. Can we put that to bed? Can we confirm? What is going on?
No. There's not going to be no relationship there, honey. We really connected. It was amazing. And you gain these special relationships with people that are intimate but not sexual. And I very much have that with Joshua, even before the show. And I think now more than ever, we're just really strong sisters, and we do our thing. But yeah, it was really sweet, and it was necessary for me because I was so vulnerable, and I was also coming out of a bad relationship. There was a lot of elements, and plus we're there. And we're secluded and we're lonely as much as there's people in the room. We're lonely. So those moments that he made me feel sexy or wanted or appreciated in a different way than just my drag, it's so confident boosting for us queens to have those things in our life outside of just the performance. So it was really important and special to me. So it was hard for me to even let Trinity go in the end.
Yeah.
But it was the only, like Ginger was saying, it was the only right decision to make. Looking at the track record, it was like, I didn't want to send Trinity home. My heart didn't. my love didn't, but I couldn't send anyone else home over her because that's what we had been playing, and she was the weakest of the track records.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I know you didn't ask that part too, but I just felt like reiterating.
It's okay. No, it's totally okay.
You know?
I think it's very important to clarify. That's because that's definitely something that people are wondering as well.
Yeah.
Wait, was somebody else saying something?
I think it was the announcer at the airport.
Oh, sorry. I feel like Kylie is taking us on MTV Cribs. That's what this is. That's what this feels like. She's taking us around the airport.
I'm taking you on a journey, honey.
Yes, you are. This is a first for sure. I'm enjoying every second of it. But it is, Kylie and Ginger. I think if I went back and counted correctly, both of you, neither one of you got a vote the entire season. How did you manage that?
I mean, you do your best and you put your faith in your sisters. I mean, it's what Eureka was saying earlier about you have to trust other people to see the hard work that you've put in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true.
Well, they were
I
also
feel
in the
the
bottom
same
of
way.
multiple people.
That's true.
Okay.
The answer I was
They
looking
had-
for was I
yeah,
paid them off.
They had options. Okay.
There's no under.
Regardless,
Kylie.
no one picked us, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how many people were in the bottom. None of my bottoms.
Well,
I feel
it
were
does
top.
matter because, like, when you say like that, well, I was only in the bottom like once, and I got picked because, it was me up against one other person.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, and
Yeah,
I win, bitch, because y'all sent my ass all the way to the house.
You have my ID.
And I still came back, bitch. Okay.
And you came back on that. Okay.
Hello, y'all couldn't get rid of me,
Oh,
girl.
God.
You tried it. I said, no, man.
Oh God, I don't want to start a war. I can't start a war between the top four. I'm sorry, I was just trying to be funny.
Girl.
Well, let's go, Raja. I want to ask you then about something that happened very shortly after this. There was the boom clap lip sync. I think Cameron did not look thrilled about her performance. How did you feel about the performance overall of that lip sync? Did you feel okay about it, or was that also like a strange moment for you?
Well, to watch it back, I was a little bit nervous to watch it because I knew what I was given in the moment. And I knew that it wasn't impressive. So I wasn't really expecting it to be like one of those drop dead, this is like Raja's standout moment. No, I knew I was not prepared. I didn't actually think that I was going to win that particular challenge. So it all came as a shock to me. So I didn't actually prepare and learn the song all the way. I thought it was going to be somebody else's win. So that just reminded me, girl, you better stay ready for whatever they throw at you.
Yes.
And don't get too
always
comfortable
believe in
thinking,
yourself.
and also to believe in myself too, because I wasn't thinking that I was going to win. So me winning that particular challenge was an absolute shock, and then having to perform that song, especially in front of Charlie XX, I really wish I had prepared a little bit more, because I know how dynamic of a performer that I am. So that wasn't my best, and I do apologize to Charlie. But that's the way it happened.
Speaking of the unexpected, I mean, the lip sync smackdown, the game within a game, I think it's one of the best things the show has ever done. It was such a good episode. So outside of Eureka, I'll ask this to the three that are here that are not Eureka. When you found out what the other queens were going to be doing, what was your reaction? And Eureka, we'll talk about actually performing in it later.
You want to take it, Raja?
Well, I didn't mind. I didn't mind that they had to lip sync. I just was okay with chilling in the back, having the actual cocktail and watching them do their thing, because we weren't really involved in that at all. So it was a moment for us to actually. We had been in drag all day, so they were like, "We still got to go set." Okay, but here goes some cocktails. Oh, okay. And you get to watch the show.
For you.
Oh, okay.
I was waiting for you to go, oh, hell no.
Okay.
I think there was that initial shock because we were literally we were all just kind of huddled together in the trailer, not knowing what was going on for a while. And we were like, it's so late. We're so tired. We've done so much today. What's happening? And then we walk in and think we're wrapping up and about to get out of drag. And they go, oh, no, there's somebody that's going to come back. And now you're going to sit down and watch this entire competition. So I think the initial reaction was very oh my God, now of all times when I'm not in the mood.
God. Okay.
Exactly.
There we go.
Oh my God. But then it started and we all just kind of fell into like, oh, this is what we've been missing in our life. It's like a drag show. We're front row for this great drag show. We were trying to tip them through the screen. Like, it turned into such a good experience.
Throwing
I
You
remember
were paying
walking
people
into the
off.
room and there were like 15 cameras all like in a half circle. We were like, what the heck is going on? And then there was a big bottle of alcohol. We were like, okay, whatever's happening, it'll be okay.
And the liquor, I'm sure, made it go down a lot smoother after you were witnessing what was happening. Now, Eureka, Silky had won so many in a row. She faces you in the end. Was that so? That was like immediately after you were eliminated. Like you went back to do that against Silky.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very much immediate. It was hard because honestly, I had kind of given up at that point. It didn't really show you all or the viewers as much, but I was kind of like at my wit's end of like feeling like a bridesmaid, never a bride, and really kind of down on myself. So when I went out for the lip sync to begin with, that's why I took my mom's life alert, because I was like, I need some extra love, some extra light, and some light from you, but also just to know what the direction is. I felt like, is this my time to go? Should I like flop it? All those thoughts are going through your mind when you walk out there. And then when I saw it was Silky, it was a little harder just because Silky's my big girl sister. You know what I mean? Like, I know what it's like to not be perceived by the fans well because your personality or because they're fat phobic, to be honest, and can't handle your fierceness. That's how I feel about it. And, so my heart it was really hard for me because it's like, I wanted Silky to be able to stay too. So I just remember asking God, being like, okay, Mom, God, I need to know if I win this lip sync, then it's my journey. If not, I'm okay. And I couldn't at that point give up on myself or Silky and be like, okay, Silky, you just take it, and then give her an opportunity that she wouldn't have felt comfortable with either. So it's like, you gotta give your all out of respect for also your sister you're performing with, you know what I mean? And it was incredible to be out there with her. It broke my heart. Honestly, even watching it later, when I was watching the episode, I was hyped up for Silky so bad, I thought she was going to beat my ass on TV. You know what I mean? Like, I forgot I won for a second. Bitch, I was like, she's about to beat me too. And I'm like watching it and like, I was rooting for her too. And then when she didn't win, I was kind of bummed even then. I was like, girl, because it's hard not to love that person. Oh, excuse me. It's hard not to love. Sorry. It's just hard not to love her. She's incredible. I'm just so glad that the world's getting to see the Silky we all know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Loved that redemption for her. Raja, I want to talk to you about Akira because you are so close with her. I mean, she didn't participate in this episode. So the first time that you spoke with her about that after the show, I mean, what were your conversations like? And do you understand the reasoning for not wanting to participate?
I absolutely understood her reasoning for not wanting to participate. I think at that point, Akira was already feeling some type of way. And, she actually left out the one thing that we all said when she actually got eliminated is that she left as a queen. So it was amazing. Well, it wasn't amazing, but it was like I understood that, she probably was not going to come back. And when they told us, when we found out that she wasn't coming back, I was like, oh, I already knew she wasn't coming back. But
you got it.
It wasn't really a shock to me. And then to actually like talk to her afterwards and hear her perspective, it was like, oh, girl, it totally makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no,
we didn't discuss too much about the show after the show. We was always moving on to the next and like where we eating it. Okay. Where the trade at? The real trade. Okay.
Well, Raja and Kylie on the finale, the This Is Our Country shoot, somebody pointed out on Twitter that Raja, it looks like you are wearing one of Kylie's outfits from a few years ago. What is the story there?
I really wanted her to wear it because it was, it was a Miley Cyrus costume, and it was country theme, and I was like, oh my god, this would be perfect for this because it's like a country outfit. Like this would look good on you, and I don't know. I thought it would look great on her.
Thank you, girl.
Raja,
It did. You ain't gotta apologize. It did. It looked great on the girl. We made some magic happen. Okay, we did it for our country. Okay, we represent our red, white, and blue. Okay. The left
was
side
great.
was over there killing it, and I red, right, and blue. Woody, woody, yo.
Well, that Joey, that's the thing is there was a lot of sister camaraderie. Like even me and Ginger traded wigs at one point.
I was going to say, who else traded
like-
stuff?
Yeah, I mean and that's what was so
The
cool about this
language.
cast. Yeah, we were just there to help each other at the end of the day. We all wanted to be fierce, but we really tried to have each other's back. We were also in the middle of a pandemic. Like there was a lot of love in the room.
Well, and I think that was like the biggest thing going into this season. Why I think it feels so special is because, we needed this as much as the rest of the world. We needed like to be close to people. We needed to do drag. We needed to entertain. We needed to hug each other. And we hadn't been able to do that for so long. Everything was like this. It was on a screen, from tits up. And it was so comforting to walk into that environment and see all these people that you love so much, and just to be able to talk to them and perform with them and have such a good time that you didn't want anybody else to leave, and you didn't want to leave as well because you wanted it to last forever. And so it felt very competitive but never cutthroat.
Yeah.
And even off screen, because the thing is you all saw my relationship with Trinity, but people didn't get to see the relationship I cultivated with Raja, which was at the hotel every night. We would just have a moment where we would just hug each other and be like, it's okay. We're doing it. I love you, sis. Good night. Get sleep tonight. Don't be in your head. Don't be anxious. Like the lyrics she put in her verse was literally what she would say to me in the hotel, honey. Feel your feelings and then throw it away, girl. You got this. You know what I mean? So we had a lot of that.
Or Kylie saying, don't stay in that place. Kylie saying, don't get out of there. She'll walk around. It wouldn't even be like a full conversation. It would just be like I see you, girl. Get up out of there.
Yeah.
Just walk out. So it's like we all held each other down in that regard, which is super special. And I think it was because, like I said, we had already just been at the house, isolated from other people. So to be in an environment where we, like the safest place we could have ever been at the time, even though the world around us was burning up. There was a whole bunch of stuff going on in LA when we filmed earthquakes. So it was like we were still in the safest place that we could have been, and we had each other, and we were able to rely on each other and actually like trust each other regardless as to it being a competition.
Yeah. Well, speaking of
really
things,
And I think that's why we're all still close now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was afraid I wasn't ever going to get to perform again, so I wanted to take the opportunity and make the most of it and have a good time and not let anything get me down, because I knew that whatever happened in that moment, once it gets on TV, it's going to last forever. So I wanted to make sure that I just had a great time the entire time.
Now, also on this finale episode, we saw a side of Ginger that we all love to see when Ginger is on hands and knees doing that sexy choreography. That is wonderful.
You better pop that booty.
Ginger, how did it feel doing that? And have you since incorporated these sexy things into your routines?
Well, sometimes I just think of Jamal and it happens naturally.
Jamal and Freddie Scott together.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. No, Ginger, I've always wanted to be sexy. I've always wanted to feel sexy. Who doesn't in the world? But I never, outside of like the bedroom, I have never felt like I was sexy. And it was like one of those moments where I was trying to process it in my head, like, how do I make this funny so that I can make it accessible? And then when the girls, we were talking about it, they didn't show this, but they were trying so hard in the workroom afterwards to like get me to do this stuff. And they finally, like, Eureka goes, "You are so sexy. Like, just do it. Just be it." And then something clicked and it changed and I felt it. And like, I still feel it. And when I was watching it back, I think that if we hadn't had that experience in the workroom, I probably would have been scared for that moment. But I was excited to see it. I loved it. I thought I looked great.
You looked really sexy.
Thank you.
You looked really good. But Jamal looked even better, baby. Ooh, Jamal was over there.
Oh my God, consensual.
Well, Kylie, I want you to walk me through. You had a lot of big moments on the finale, of course. I mean, the crowning, it's so well deserved. I mean, you know, so many people have been watching you for so many years on the show. It was really lovely to see you take the crown. But you did have the moment on the main stage during the lip sync that you told me in your winter interview. It was completely unplanned. The somersault, the tumble, it was just such an amazing moment. But walk me through. I know, right? But who or what was going through your mind in that moment as soon as you felt yourself start to fall and then transitioned it into the somersault?
I felt my whole life flash before my eyes when it happened. It was like everything went in slow motion, and I was just thinking to myself as I was slipping, it's so weird. It was like an outer body experience, and everything literally went in slow motion. It was like like that, and I was like, wow, I did all that hard work, and I'm so proud of myself. And here I am at the very last thing I have to do, which is probably the most fun and freeing. And I'm slipping right now, and I just know I'm about to hit my face on the ground. And just something slipped, and I was just like, roll, compose, sell it. Don't let it get you down.
Yeah.
Girl, all them years of practicing your Catwoman had paid off. Okay. Like reflexes that came in. Okay.
They sure did. It was so weird how everything went into slow motion, but when you watch it, it was so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, that's surprising
too,
to hear.
so we can see it.
Yeah.
They did slow it down.
well,
it was really
slowed
big.
it down
I
for
remember
TV.
you coming off. I remember you coming off from backstage being like, "Oh, bitch, I fell," and I didn't know what you meant.
Okay.
So, like, honestly, getting to see it back, I was like, "Bitch, you fell, but you did it right. You did it right, honey."
Okay.
Well, Raja, your reaction to that moment in the finale viewing party is so great. You just are like, okay. What was running through your mind watching that? Because I assume that you didn't know that that's how it played out.
Well, of course, Kylie had already told us that she had failed, so it was kind of like when I seen it, and then I saw that it wasn't actually like a fall, like she had recovered. It was like, okay, well, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
You did what needed to be done, bitch.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
like Eureka was saying, like we didn't get to watch each other perform. So whenever she came backstage, she was like, I fell. And in our minds, it immediately goes to like, oh my God, she fell. And then we get on the little golf carts to go back to the workroom, and the camera crew is like, nice save. So it's so weird how we as people, like as entertainers, we're like hypercritical of ourselves more than anybody else ever could be. So our mind immediately goes to like, oh, I have ruined everything. Meanwhile, everybody around you is like, that was awesome.
Yeah. It was a great moment. I think that it's just, I want to make sure I talk to you about this because I've been following on your Instagram this week and you sort of responding to the things that people have been saying, which are just, you don't deserve that. And it's disappointing to see, but I'm wondering, especially given the other pushback that we saw against someone like Victoria Scone after Drag Race UK 3 cast was announced and people saying that, women don't have a place in drag. I mean, I'm just wondering how you respond to that and, especially given that you are the reigning queen now.
There would be no drag without women. I mean, come on. Most of it's dedicated to women, It's a celebration of women and femininity. So, I mean, why? I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's a lot of young people who only know about the art form through watching television. They've never really experienced what it was like before it became popular. So they don't understand, and it's just really frustrating trying to explain to people that this isn't new. This isn't like something that just happened overnight. This is something that's been here for decades, and I don't know. And some of the best that I've ever seen came from trans women, and it's what inspired me to do what I do. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's just really frustrating. Talking to a generation that have no idea because it was all underground. There's not a lot of. You would have to be there. It's one of those things you would have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you do tell them what's the tea, they still think that you're wrong, and it's just annoying, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know. Did that answer?
Yes.
Yeah. Honestly, Kylie, I give it up to you, sister, because you're just a visible, amazing, incredible trans woman. But first and foremost, you're just a woman, and you are a drag queen, and you're a winner, baby. So
that right
can't take that away, Mama.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Nobody can take that away. But I don't want people to think like it's like this new thing that just happened. It's like no, it's been here. It's just it's getting its time to shine. So,
but the people who don't know about it, their opinion doesn't really matter, I feel, and until they learn. Like the people who do already know that history and that part of the drag community, they already embrace it, and that's who we do it for. And eventually everybody else will learn and they'll come around or they'll fall off. You're either a fan of drag or you're a fan of Drag Race, and they're two very different things.
Yeah.
100%. It was really cool to go to Miss Continental this year, right after the win of Drag Race, and the Continental family were so supportive of the Drag Race girls that were there, and it was just so nice. Honestly, I don't know what that had.
It was amazing,
but it just was really nice because usually, especially in the drag pageant world, a lot of pageants kind of look down on Drag Race girls because they don't really represent a side of drag that the pageant world is used to. But I think, I don't know, something about this just made me feel really validated within my community. And I think we all felt that. Raja and Eureka, we were there to support Trinity and
Silky,
and Akira was there too. It was really, it was gorgeous. Loved it.
And Ginger was there in spirit because she was like, I wish I was there, you stupid bitches.
I was like, Eureka, FaceTime me right now. I have to see the gown. Come on, FaceTime me. I was stuck in P-Town for 6 weeks.
Oh, no.
Well, stuck. It was in P-Town for 6 weeks.
I was going to say,
She was getting stuck in P-Town. Okay?
Yeah, I never miss Continental Plus. I never miss it for like 15 years.
Well, that was the pageant system. Yeah, you used to do that pageant system.
I did. I lost that one too. Yes. I was a beautiful top 3 for that 6 years in a row. But I just think it's so glamorous and so beautiful. And I was so sad that this year in particular I couldn't go because I couldn't literally get out of P-Town and back in time to do my show, especially since all my sisters were there. I really felt like I was missing out, so I was FaceTiming all of them. Pick up your phone, girl. Pick it up.
What do you think is the most personally redeeming or personally validating thing that all of you walk away from All Star 6 with?
Well, I think everybody who has grown up like looking up to RuPaul would kill for her to acknowledge you, much less to say like you are a superstar, and to have her, face to face tell me you're one of the biggest stars that's ever come out of the show, and I'm so proud of everything that you do. Like that was validating. And in that moment, it was like, that's when it really like switched to my head. I was like, oh, whether I get the crown or not, I feel like such a winner because of this. I feel like this is what I needed to like continue to accomplish the things I've already set out to do. So I think that was probably like my favorite moment.
The most validating part of my journey on All Star 6 was that I accomplished everything that I set out to accomplish when I originally signed up to do Drag Race All Stars. I wanted to come back and have fun. I wanted to come back and be myself. I wanted to come back and really enjoy my time in the room. And I think I did that. And by doing so and keeping my head clear and being a positive light in the room, it just allowed me to flourish. And I'm glad now the fan base also gets to see who I am as a person and as a queen, and that they have rediscovered who I am and are now like starting to remember that we can't be so quick to judge and discount people and count people out. You know, a lot of times in life we write people off at the first sign of disagreement or something that we don't like. But, you know, in real life, there are no villains. There are just people going through bad situations or going through a tough time. And with a reality TV, a lot of times we get shown in polarizing light as opposed to a humanizing light. So I'm glad that we were able to be seen in a human light, fully realized, very dynamic as a top 4, as a cast. And personally for me, for my journey, I was excited that I was able to be seen, because on season 11, that's what they kept saying is we couldn't see you, we didn't get you. So to know that I was there and I showed up to every episode, to every assignment, and I was there and I did the damn thing, I'm so excited.
You were very seen, Raja. You were very seen.
And
everybody
heard.
saw you. Yes.
Oh
And heard.
my God, her around the world. Oh my God.
Mine is similar. It's just being seen for me, and who I am authentically. You know, something I learned is instead of trying to be what other people want you to be or what's going to make them like me, just be myself and authentically, and people will like me naturally. Because when I'm not doing that, it can come across very negative, and it can also make me go through it negatively because I'm not enjoying what I'm doing and I'm not being authentic to me. So I was able to do that this season and show my growth and represent my mom. That was very important to me in the light, and be the person that she raised me to be, and let people see a piece of her. And to work with these amazing ladies, honestly, it was just incredible. And the friendships and the love that I feel, it was nice. And thank you, Joey. And honestly, working with you and getting to do this again, it's just put another fire under my ass to keep working. Sometimes it's hard to keep moving. And things like this validate us and remind us this is what we're born to do. And it's okay to love it so much and to put so much of our life into it, because these rewards are what we get in the end, you know?
Yeah, very well said, Eureka. Now, Kylie, I think if you want to say something as well, your most validating thing from the season, we'll end with that.
It was like a fairy tale to myself, you know, and I'm really proud of me. And I feel validated not only as a human, but as a performer. And just that love is literally the most important thing in this world. And that's what got me through it and to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, more power to all of you. Again, I love talking with all of you. I love, seeing what you guys are up to. I know it sounds sometimes condescending for people to say like, oh, I'm so proud of you. But no, genuinely, like, I think you are all making everybody very, very proud with all of the excellence that you show on a daily basis. So thank you so much for sharing your time with me and for the rest of the world, your talent, sharing the talent with the world. You guys are wonderful. So thank you so much for an amazing season and for being with me on the podcast today.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Go follow us and learn about everything that we're doing.
Yes.
At Eureka.
Drop dead. Okay.
Just go to gingermingeonline.com, not gingerminge.com, because that's porn. And it's also me. That is also me. But Ginger Minge Online has all of my info.